daño, la dai dai, daño, la dai dai, daño, la dai dai, This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show no more, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we will not shy away from that. We would only criticize to build and not to destroy. We are in the service of God and country, and we don't personalize issues here. It's all about issues. It's an issues-based conversation. My brother, my sister, it may sound like a monologue, but this is the voice of the people. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show no more, where we speak truth to power. Oh my God, have mercy. And remember, oh my God, this is from the newsreel, where we keep it real. Now the very first story I want to look at today is coming from Ghana Weber. And my brother, my sister, I need you to open your ears and listen with rapt attention. It says, Isaac Dogbe's father fingers prophet in son's defeat, alleges plot to destroy his family. And I read it. Paul Dogbe, the father of Ghanaian boxer Isaac Dogbe, has accused Prophet Edem Selassie Kwesi Wavenu II of allegedly destroying his family and turning his son against him. Now, according to Paul Dogbe, he was the one who introduced his son to the general overseer of the Apostles' Revelation Society. But Prophet Edwin Selassie Kwesi brainwashed Isaac Dogbe into believing that he was the cause of his struggles. Paul Dogbe, who was a trainer of Isaac when he defeated Jesse Magdaleno via an 11-round TKO to win the WBO Super Bantamweight World Championship, said he decided to step aside, but things are still not going well for his son. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Shono, where we speak truth to power. Now, when you listen to the father speaking, you will realize that this is a father who himself needs training to be a true, responsible father. Now, some fathers speak, and the way they speak is so shameful. They are an affront to parenthood and fatherhood. And one of those people is Paul Dogbe, the father of Isaac Dogbe. I don't know how old he is, but wisdom is not the preserve of gray hair and old age. You don't need to be old to become wise. This is a father who is not wise. You know why? Now, when you listen to the tape, you would realize that this is a father who is on his way to destroying his own son. We have seen time and again when fathers and mothers go on social media and they spew garbage about their sons who are on their way to success. They speak such garbage most of the time only because they have been cut away for one reason or the other from enjoying that beautiful cake that their sons and daughters are getting right now. They are becoming very vindictive, my brother, my sister. And because they do not have any very good parental guidance, my brother, my sister, on fatherhood, they take to social media and they think that they are solving a problem, but deep inside them, they know that they are destroying their own sons and daughters. Paul Dogbe says that this prophet is the result of his bad relationship or sour relationship with his son. And he claims that he introduced this same boy to the prophet. What did you see in the prophet that made you introduce your son to him? And if the prophet today says that you are the cause of his problems, Now you listen to the tape, and it goes on to say that the prophet predicted that Isaac Dogbe was going to win via a third round or a fifth round knockout of the opponent. But the opponent ended up going all the way through and winning the title. Much as I am not a supporter of boxing, much as I see boxing as a demonic, violent sport in quote, because I don't see it as a sport, I see it as barbarism. When people come into the ring and hit each other, break each other's noses, blood is flowing all over the place, and people are there cheering to see who gets hurt more, to see who is on his way to being killed. What has the human race got into? Is this a sport? Worst of it all is the so-called UFC, where they use their knees and elbows to break each other's jaws and break each other's noses and so on and so forth. Yet human beings who claim, my brother, my sister, to be civilized, endorse this, and they have doctors standing by to take care of people who intentionally inflict harm on each other. You know what should be done? Doctors must refuse to go to such places where people intentionally inflict harm on each other. Doctors are needed at places where people are genuinely suffering, yet they don't go there. Some of the places are too remote for them, yet they would stop everything and go to the UFC cage where barbaric human beings inflict pain on each other. They would go to the boxing ring. Have you ever seen a boxing ring where there was no doctor? The doctor earns so much money, so he would stop going to the village and to such other places where he might not even be paid. Yet he vowed that he would save lives. My brother, my sister, saving life does not include people who barbarically decide to jump into a certain ring and inflict pain on each other for absolutely no sensible reason. I have called for the banning of boxing and UFC and all that. Yet, my brother, my sister, we give heroic welcome to various citizens of our country who go out there and get engaged in this barbaric sport. Some people may think that we are crazy. Others will say, oh, you are too old. My brother, my sister, boxing has been there for a very long time. It is time to call out boxing and this dirty UFC and let everybody see that human beings are civilized. This is a barbaric sport. Now, let me get back to Paul Dogbe. He says that the prophet predicted that his son was going to win via a third round or a fifth round TKO. But it didn't happen. Now you introduce this man to your prophet. Now the prophet has identified you as a problem. You introduce your wife to this prophet. And now the prophet has been able to convince your wife and your son that you are the cause. Your family is breaking apart. And the best way is to come on social media and rant. When you were introducing these people to your prophet, did you come on social media to make it known? You have brainwashed your own son because you yourself, you have a brainwashed education and a brainwashed mentality. We all saw Isaac Dogbe fighting some months back, and instead of concentrating on delivering blows, he was shouting the names of his gods. We all remember when he was shouting the names of his gods, the Voltairean gods. My brother, my sister, he ended up being beaten to pulp. He didn't learn from that. Now, he's still following a prophet who is telling him that he would win via a third round or a fifth round knockout. And he ended up being beaten again. Now the father comes out to tell us that he introduced his son to the prophet. What kind of attitude are you giving to this so-called sportsman? You are trying to tell him that spirituality plays a bigger role than even hard work and training. So he goes into the ring, and all he can say is to mention the name of his gods to help him to win. Now this father needs training in fatherhood. It's not every family issue you jump on social media and start talking about. This father needs to be called. He needs to be called out, my brother, my sister, or else this is the end of his son as a boxer. I will be very happy that he doesn't box anymore. After all, boxing is nothing but a barbaric game. I leave it here. Another thing I want to quickly look at, and I need you to come along so we will look at this together. My brother, my sister, is this other thing? I need you to come along and let's deal with this. And this one, I'm reading from Ghana Web, the same Ghana Web. And these are the utterances of a man that I respect so much. He's called Nana Akomia. And it says, Brian Achampon didn't mean NPP will stay in power no matter what. Nana Akomia replies NDC. And I read, the chief executive officer of the inner city, in fact, the Intercity State Transport Corporation, Nana Akomia, says the Minister of Agriculture, Brian Achampon, meant no harm with his words while addressing some party supporters at Mpraiso. The minister stated that the New Patriotic Party would use any means to remain in power, and also cautioned that they would show the largest opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, that they have the men to face them in the 2024 elections. NDC party will collapse if the NDC dares to use threats, violence, and foolishness in the 2024 elections. We will let them know we have the men. We will show them that we have the men. We have the men. It will never happen that we, the NPP, will stand on a platform to hand over power to the NDC. It will never happen. We will make sure NPP remains in power at all costs. Underline that, at all costs. Brian Achampon said bluntly. He has since come under some severe censure, with the NDC calling on the police to arrest him for what they describe as reckless and treasonable comments. But to Nana Akomia, Brian Achampon's statements have been misconstrued. I don't think Brian was saying if the Electoral Commission declares NDC as winner in the 2024 elections, we, the NPP, can say we won't leave government. Is that possible? It's not possible. He replied on Peace FM's morning program. My brother, my sister. Nana Akomia, with all respect, this damage control is hogwash. This damage control is nauseating. This damage control is dirty. Listen, Nana Akomia, with all respect, you were not the one who made those terrible utterances. Let the man who made those utterances come to his own dirty defense. A man who said that they would never offer power back to the NDC. They will keep power at all costs. What does it mean? Was he speaking Spanish? Or was he speaking Arabic or Chinese? Or was he speaking gibberish? My brother, my sister, let's call a spade and stop this foolishness. The man went out and boldly told the whole world that they would never hand over power to the NDC that saw it right to hand over power to them a few years back. Is this not foolishness? And he's saying that they have the men to match the NDC boot for boot when it comes to violence, foolishness, and intimidation. Is this something that a wise person should be saying? And Nana Akomia, with all respect, I know you're communications, whoever of your party, but this is below the word belt and is so deeply sunken. In fact, your party is crestfallen for this dirty talk. And I expected that Brian Achampong himself will come out and bow his head in shame, and with his tail between his legs, he will cry openly and beg Ghana and our great ancestors, in fact, for mercy and for forgiveness. How can the Minister of Agric, a one-time Minister of National Security, speak like a little boy? Speak like somebody with no brains. Speak like somebody who is disillusioned. Speak like somebody who is disillusional. My brother, my sister, it's so sad. We will never hand over power. We will keep power at all cost. Is this Arabic? Now, come here. If you support him, why don't you bring your family? Let him join his family. And then you go and then start waging war. So that families of innocent people can at least rest somewhere and watch you guys kill each other. It's so sad when politicians are waging war and rumoring on wars and all that. It is so sad that we have people who will come and defend them. I'm so disappointed. Brian Achampong has a history of violence. Brian Achampong has a lot of investment in this country. If this country goes to war, all your investment will go down the drain. If this country becomes destabilized, your investment, including the biggest hotel in Africa, Rock City Hotel, will go down in flames. After all, when there is war, there is chaos. There's fire all over the place. This was the same thing Kennedy Japan said. Today he's trying to behave like a gentleman, wearing suit, walking all over the place and trying to talk polished talk. Why don't you continue with your garbage talk? If you can show the naked photographs of people you are feuding with, go on TV and show nakedness, all in the name of exposing people. And you call for the beating of Evers. You call for war in this country, all because you want to retain power. You call for the burning alive of a former president because you believe that he was behind the burning of some markets. Today, these are the people who want to be president of this country over our dead bodies. How can you call for the burning of a president alive? You call for Evers to be beaten, yet you claim that you have an Ever wife. You ask for war in this country because you are men. We remember all the foolish talk these people came out and said, and they expect us to be afraid of them, all because they have political power. We all saw how Ahmed Swale was murdered in cold blood right after the utterances of Kennedy Japan. Today he wants to be president. He's wearing suit, maybe for the first time, in posters that we are seeing around. Continue the garbage talk. Do you have to wait until you want to be president, then you start talking polish? As for Brian Achampong, the least said about him, the better. It's so sad. It's so terrible. I leave it here. My brother, my sister, Kwesi Pratt and the rest are warning Brian Achampong and telling him that your few months of American training in the U.S. Air Force is not enough to save you. Even America itself, with all its might, went down in Vietnam. Think about it. My brother, my sister, another thing I would like to look at is this thing. Oh my God. And it breaks my heart every time I look at things like this. I need you to come along. Open your ears and let's look at this. These days we see police and civilians struggling. The other day they were fighting over Kusi. Policeman and a civilian fighting over rat meat, a dead rat. Kusi. Police service, you need to rebrand. Police service, you need to be more responsible than you are. I'm choosing my words very carefully because I love police. I'm reading here and it says, irate youth attack police station. Vehicle destroyed, gun fired, 2 injured. Oh my God. And where is this happening? Sekri Bekwai. I hope that the police will quietly go back and allow Brian Champong and his team of men, violent men, to go and deal with the situation. A few months of American Air Force training with a certain dirty certificate, he thinks that he's King Kong. Oh my God, what a nation. A nation of low minds. Irate youth attack police station. Vehicle destroyed, gun fired, 2 injured at Sekri Bekwai. I read. A group of irate youth has gone on a rampage to attack a police station at Sekri Bekwai in the Western North region to demand the release of a motorized vehicle. That's Pragia. Rider Kwabena, Japan, 20, arrested by the police. The rider reportedly head-butted a police officer to resist a search in the evening whilst riding to Sekri Sorano, but was overpowered by the patrol team and sent to the police station. My brother, my sister, look at the person they are asking the police to release, and they are using force. He head-butted a police officer. Dampari needs to sit up and please rebrand Ghana police. Now, what you see Ghana police is all about fighting over kusie or asking for bribe or making themselves available for soldiers to beat them up and also take over their job. It's not a good name. Can we deal with this? All right, it's time now for the news at 12. My brother Junior is in the house. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm okay.